I taught at Westmore Elementary in Miss Walton's 4th grade classroom, and this lesson that I integrated technology with is on erosion. Miss Walton has her room set up in a great way for all students to be able to see the smart board clearly when she gives instruction. She has a document camera in the back of the room in front of her classroom, and that I wish that was up in the front of the room so that when I'm at the document camera it could I can keep students' eye contact. She also has a smart board that she uses every day, but one thing that I wanted to use it for in any lesson that I could, particularly this one, is to get the students more engaged and more involved with using the technology. Even though she uses it every day for multiple lessons, she doesn't usually let students come up and interact with the whiteboard, and so that was something that I planned to use in my lesson and did use in my lesson that was effective in getting students to pay attention and be engaged throughout the whole hour lesson. I started off the lesson to get students engaged by doing this model. I created a mound of sand and then put a quarter on top of it, and I had a student help me drizzle some water over the top of it, and that water eroded away the sand around the quarter, and then students were able to come up and see how it did that and how the quarter helped keep the sand around it. After this, we watched a Bill Nye video about erosion, and throughout it I would stop it when we talked about it, and then we moved on to a shared read. And I would start reading off of the smart board, underlining important things, and then when I held up my hand, students would read where I was at, and they got pretty good at doing that. Another thing that I did to get the students more engaged in using the smart board was to have the students summarize each paragraph what the main point was. So I did a couple models of it, and then students who were sitting quietly and paying attention, I would choose on to come up and write up their summary and share with the class what they thought was the most important. And this was great because it got the students involved. They were really excited to have that opportunity to come up and then to also get to share what they know. Another thing I did with the kids is I put up 2 pictures of what erosion might be and a non-example of erosion, and then I had students think about it. I did this first one as a model of what I was looking for, and then I gave different pictures and had students come up and circle the one that they thought showed erosion, and then they could explain and point out anywhere in the picture that it showed where erosion was happening. We then did some more modeling where we had the soil spread out flat as a plane, and then the water and wind used to erode it, and we drew what it looked like first, and then we did the experiment and had students help me with that, and then we drew what it looked like afterwards, similar to this muddy mess. We then did the same thing. We built a mound, and that was our hill, and then we took some water and poured over it. When we built it, we had the students draw what it looked like, and then we poured some water slowly over it through a cup and had a student help me with that, and then we drew what it looked like afterwards. I had a student come up to the document camera and show what his before and after picture looked like, and then pointed out specific things with it. And then we did another hill with water over the top of it, with a Kleenex as well over the top of it to act as these stakes and the grass that and the roots that help hold the soil together when water's trying to erode it away. This is what the paper looked like that I had them do the before and after picture, and each one had the procedures listed out, so if they wanted to take it home and recreate the models, they could. For the assessment, I looked at their summaries that they did of the shared read, and then at the end of the before and after picture worksheet were these 5 questions where it asked you to define erosion, what 2 main forces that were responsible for erosion were that we talked about, and a couple more. And this allowed me to see how much the students retained it, and they did really well, and I feel like it was because they had so much engagement with the models and with the technology. I feel like overall this lesson went really well. Incorporating technology into it really helped keep the students engaged, and it was really effective in helping them remember the things that they were doing. and they really had a lot of fun with it. Something I'd do differently next time is definitely my time management, because I had an hour for this lesson. I went a little bit over because I just loved being able to go with what the students were saying and go with the flow of the lesson.